Hey, we're back at Dan's house today. We worked on this side of his ditch a while back and it still looks pretty good. Now we're going to work on this side. We got to move that kind of levee back that you see there, or that high spot, and we're going to use a different approach this time. Last time we used the 4-in-1 bucket and a box blade. Not saying there's anything wrong with that approach, we're just going to do it a different way today, just to kind of see how it goes and see which might work best. Let's get started.
This video is sponsored by Simply Safe.
This time, I'm going to try to till right along the edge of this and get some of this ground loosened up, and then I'm just going to use the bucket and back drag it back away from the ledge. The overall objective, again, is to get this ditch to where you can go through it with this mower and be able to keep it mowed and not let these weeds all grow up like this.
I don't want to change the grade of the bottom of the ditch, so throughout this episode you'll be able to see a few weeds right there in the bottom, and I'm trying not to disturb them. This seemed like an easier approach than getting the laser level out and regrading the whole thing just to maintain what we've already got. Our objective is to make this ditch less steep on the sides, make it more navigable for his lawnmower. Last episode we focused on this near side, and we used the loader bucket and a box blade. One of the negatives of that approach is that we had big hunks of dirt and sod to deal with. This made it more difficult to smooth and level with a shovel or rake.
I don't think you remembered your pipe was that close to the top.
Well, I probably should have taken more care there, but that's that drain tile coming away from your house.
Come back anyway, and actually it's split pretty clean. To tell you the truth.
Yeah, it looks like it came apart there at a seam, so I think
Yeah.
we're in good shape.
It split pretty clean there.
We'll eventually have to get a shovel and dig that out, but we knew that would have to go back that direction. It already looks better to me just with the tiller having run over it, let alone pulling any of it back.
You show that pole who's boss, buddy.
I'll probably have to go get a chain, but
The fence will have to be redone anyway due to the change in slope of the yard. Hopefully it'll be much easier for them next time because the slope will be more gentle.
I see what he's doing.
There it goes.
now grab it.
Dang, bro.
Wow.
It's like Thor's hammer. Back over by the other concrete.
10 years from now, dude.
I hooked this one with the back edge of my loader bucket.
Oh, wow. That was a pretty cool trick.
I don't have any pinch mechanism, so I'm down to you, Dan.
No. I was waiting for you to give me the wink.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the pole. I could have just taken this by hand, but whatever.
Yeah, just because I made it look easy, you're trying to say that.
Yes, that's why I'm saying that.
I know it may be unconventional, but I am a big fan of using the tiller for final grading projects like this. I grind that layer of soil up into powder, and then it's easy to move and do whatever I want with it. Not only is it easy to move with the tractor, it's easy to move with a hand shovel too.
Ooh, a lot of rocks there.
Yep, rocks are a downside. The tiller doesn't handle them well, but I would say this Moschio is pretty tough. And with the forward rotation, it tends to bounce over rather than try to dig them up and get caught on them. You can get this Moschio tiller in forward or reverse rotation at agfolks.com and use code TTWT for a 5% discount. At times this bank was kind of steep for Johnny, but I felt like while the tiller was in the ground and the loader was low, I would be in pretty good shape.
Tim's weed removal service.
Yeah. One way to get your weeds eradicated.
Looking better, Dan?
Oh yeah. Big thing is being able to mow it.
A couple of things I want to address from the comments of the previous video here at Dan's. The first comment that we got a lot of was saying that the reason we had all this water coming through this ditch was because of the irrigation. Well, that's a fundamental misunderstanding of how irrigation works. The water actually comes during the rainy season. And irrigation, there's no way they want any runoff. They want to irrigate just enough to keep the grass green and going. They do not want to put enough water on it to run off down this ditch. And specifically, we were working and it was dry during that first project, right? Just like it is today. Well, they were running the irrigation right then while we were working. And there was no water running down this ditch at that time. So this big ditch here is required because there's just a huge amount of water that comes through here during large winter rains or spring rains. It's not related to the irrigation at all. The second comment we frequently got was related to the location that we're putting this ditch. A lot of commenters said, hey, why didn't you just put this around the outside of his yard rather than going right through the middle of it? To the right of the camera, right on the corner of Dan's property line, there's a pipeline. And it actually comes through Dan's property. Just on the corner of it. Yeah, we don't want to be digging over there. And we would be, I don't know, 4 foot deep if we were doing this at the corner of Dan's property. Maybe a little more. I'm trying to eyeball it now. So, no, I don't think that was an option. The third comment that we got several times, which actually was pretty thoughtful, I thought, was why don't we put pipe in here and just cover this up? Well, I think that's plausible, but we must discuss a little bit more first. It actually had pipe in it when Dan first bought it, if I understand properly, and it didn't work. And that's because the pipe wasn't nearly big enough. I mean, you can see from the size of this ditch, there's a lot of water moving here. So we would probably have to have at least 2 12-inch pipes side by side to be able to keep the water out of Dan's house. And who knows, maybe that becomes a longer term thing that he wants to do, but that's a good bit of money. And so I don't think that was really in the budget right now. Now, for those of you who didn't watch the first episode, first of all, it'd probably be good just to go back and watch it. I do a lot of explanation of how we got here and how the previous contractor did what he did, why he did what he did. You might be looking at this, if you didn't hear that discussion, and say, well, it looks to me like that we're piling dirt up next to Dan's house, creating a slope toward the house. And yes, we are doing that. When I first saw the project, I thought that was a mistake too. But after I understand the first contractor's solution, I realized this is exactly what we needed to be doing. He's created this other drain here to drain the water that comes next to the house. Meanwhile, this levee that we've got here, or big ridge that we've got here, is helping to protect from those biggest flash floodwaters, I'll call them, that come in during those big spring rains. Having said that, right on this corner, I think I'm going to have more dirt than I bargained for. We'll probably have to get some of it out. We're visiting neighbor Chris, who bailed us out on our last close call with Simply Safe. Chris, you already had a security system.
Yep.
Why did you just upgrade to Simply Safe?
There was a couple reasons. One, my current provider depended on 3G network for its cellular backup.
Yeah.
And they are sunsetting it, and they did not offer me an upgrade.
Okay.
So I was going to lose cellular backup in this. That's a big deal to me. Secondly, when I looked at, okay, I can upgrade with my current provider, literally it was going to cost me thousands of dollars in equipment. I started to look at the Simply Safe system because you like it. Their cost basis was so much lower. Their equipment is easy to put in. It really came down to dollars and cents and stability of equipment. They have an unbelievably high rating. My current provider, I was constantly having to reset my system.
What sensors did you get?
We end up with everything. Inside camera, outside cameras, we have key fobs, we have temperature detectors for both floors in case we're gone. One of the furnaces quit working, water sensors, basically anything, everything, including we even bought one for outside, and we're going to try their photo cells for charging. It means I can put a camera anywhere I want on the property, as long as it's within 800 feet of the base station. This is the easiest installation I've ever done on a security system. It walks you through it. It's very straightforward. You push a button, you pair it, you name it, and they have a bunch of preset names, which is nice, but say you want to give it, a special name like Chris's room. I can type it in, and when you get done, it says it's been named, and you push the button, and it says now Chris's room, motion detector.
And right now you can save 40% with the holiday sale going on. Simplysafe.com/TTWT. Get yours today.
He's hitting that. Yeah, I think he might have just hit the top of that stump. Or actually probably hit some of the roots. I think the stump's a little higher.
Yeah. Whoa, what was that?
That was a rock.
Yeah, rock.
Who needs a stump grinder? I just run my tiller through it. Dan said that was an old stump, so.
Looks like he's going to move some of that up to the side of the house. Where's he going?
All the way over to the barn to dump it.
Oh.
You want to see what you can do with this, with the power rake now?
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty messy, but I trust you.
All right. Dan's already trying out his mower. We're not quite finished yet, but we're not even finished yet, and Dan's playing.
I told him to get these tractor out. He wasn't sure what to do, so I said, well, get your tractor out and see if you can pretend mow it. So you've done a fabulous job down there, Christy.
Thank you very much.
Given what you started with down there, you did a lot of work with that Vinny. Vinny and the power rake's pretty neat.
I think it's the power rake, it's not me really.
But we need to do that same thing to this, but I think we're getting there. Is that gonna work?
It's gonna work great.
I expect to see no thistles in your ditch next year when I come over for a cheeseburger.
That's right, that's right.
Okay, so we need to get Vinny out and do some final work.
It's looking good. It worked perfect. I didn't even feel like it was gonna tilt too much or anything like that.
We call that the pucker factor.
The pucker factor?
Does that make sense? Makes you pucker? You're on the edge like,
yeah.
you know the pucker feeling.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. I've been there. Well, if I had the forethought, I would have had this done in the beginning, but I didn't know. I hadn't have thought it all through, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, how you gonna mow over it, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Had I thought it all through, then I would have said, hey, let's grade this a little bit, further out.
Sure.
So then that way, but we were more concerned with it just working at first.
Right.
And it works, so that's
Yeah.
the important thing, you know? Oh yeah, look at him, way up there. Is he gonna
Yeah.
try to pull that down? That,
Yeah, you can get
Oh.
really close with the Ventrac. Well, just about any tractor, if you know what you're doing.
yeah, if you know, if you're not gonna run into the wall.
Now it's time for the ultimate test. Here comes Dan on his lawnmower. Oh, he had a little pucker there, I think. What do you think, Dan?
Well, I think it's perfect. The lawnmower goes over it. I don't feel insecure. This will make my life a lot easier because before it was just a big, huge mess and we didn't know what to do with it.
Now you can mow it.
Now we can mow it.
No more insecurity.
No more
Hey,
insecurity.
I didn't know that we were trying to solve insecurity.
You know what? Tractor Time with Tim has many, many qualities.
Yeah, this was a big challenge because we had, well, there's a lot of variables we had to deal with. And this is pretty deep right in the middle of your backyard.
Yep. Do they know about the pipeline? That's the important thing.
Yep, the pipeline is over here on the corner of your property, so we couldn't take the ditch around to the edge of your property, like some people suggested. And we had tried pipes, right? It had pipes on it when you moved here.
When we moved in, the people before had tried pipes. It wasn't enough.
So it would have taken big ones, probably a pair of 12 inchers or maybe even a pair of 16s.
Yeah.
And
for
that
sure.
would have been some money. As it is, now you've got a backyard with character.
I have a river. Well, you know, once and twice a year or something like that.
Okay.
Depends on how much it rains.
Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with
Tim, I did it again. I swear.
You care for the land and water it. You enrich it abundantly. The streams of God are filled with water to provide the people with grain, for so you have ordained it.
You guys got to cue me next time. Come on now. Where's my card? Somebody's supposed to hold up a card.
That one went pretty funny because you finished and I stopped.
Tractor Time with Tim. Be there. Subscribe, like, leave a comment.
Let's see a wheelie.
X350, baby.